Today, we will be able to construct the unit circle. What is the unit circle? It's a circle whose radius is 1. Here's a blank copy of the unit circle. You should also have a blank copy in front of you. Today, in the notes, we're going to fill in the unit circle. You will be expected to memorize the unit circle because next class, you will have a quiz. You will be given a blank copy of the unit circle, just like this, and you will be expected to fill the whole thing in by memory in 7 minutes or less. Okay, so let's get busy filling it in. Here's a blank copy of the unit circle. The first thing we're going to do is fill in the degrees. The first one we're going to start with is 0 degrees. Notice each big gap is worth 30 degrees. Each small gap is worth 15 degrees. Remember that as we're going up. Okay, each large gap is 30. Each small gap is 15. That'll help you so you don't necessarily have to memorize every angle measure. You could be able to figure them out. So because this big gap is 30, this next angle measure is 30 degrees. The small gap is 15, so that makes us 45 degrees. The small gap is 15, that makes that 60 degrees. The large gap is 30, makes that 90 degrees. Then we have 120, then we have 135, then we have 150, then we have 180. Then 210, 225, 240, 270, 300, 315, 330, and 360. Now, I'm going to give you the radians for all of the degrees, okay? 0 degrees is 0 radians. Remember to find radians, it's degree times pi over 180, but in your calculator, you do 1 over 180. So 30 degrees is pi over 6, then pi over 4, then pi over 3, then pi over 2, then 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 4, 5 pi over 6, and pi. Then we get 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, 4 pi over 3, 3 pi over 2, 5 pi over 3, 7 pi over 4, 11 pi over 6, and 2 pi. So that's half of what you need to remember for the unit circle. The other half are these endpoints out here. I know that it can look overwhelming, but I'm going to show you how to memorize quadrant 1 and then figure out quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. All you have to really memorize is quadrant 1, okay? All right, this first ordered pair we're going to start with here is going to be 1, 0. The next ordered pair is going to be the square root of 3 divided by 2 and 1/2. Your x is the square root of 3 divided by 2, and your y is 1/2. The next ordered pair is the square root of 2 divided by 2 and the square root of 2 divided by 2. The next point is 1/2 and the square root of 3 divided by 2. And the last point at the top is 0, 1. Now, what we did was quadrant 1. And in quadrant 1, both the x and the y are positive. Positive, positive. So each coordinate is positive. Now we're going to switch over here and do quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, because we're going to the left of 0, the x is negative, but we're going up, so the y is positive. So it's negative, positive. So all we have to remember is the negative, positive, and then how we find the other ones is real simple. Okay? We look here. This denominator is 3. It's 2 pi over 3. The denominator is 3. So we come over here to this side to the matching denominator of 3, and we take that ordered pair. We take that ordered pair of 1/2 and root 3 over 2 and make the x negative. So it's negative 1/2 positive square root of 3 over 2. For this next point, the denominator is 4. So we come over here, find the denominator of 4. We're going to use that ordered pair, root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. Only we're going to make the x negative. So we come over here, it's negative root 2 over 2 and positive root 2 over 2. Now we come to this point. The denominator is 6. Match it up with the denominator of 6 over here. So the ordered pair is going to be the square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Only we make the x negative. So it's negative square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Now for this point here, we do the same thing. This is 1, 0. So when we reflect it over, it becomes negative 1, 0. All right, now let's do the same thing for quadrant 3. When we switch down here to quadrant 3, my x is negative because I'm going to the left, and my y is negative because I'm going down. So remember, negative, negative. Okay? Same process. This point here has a denominator of 6. So come back over here to quadrant 1. When your denominator was 6, it was the ordered pair root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So we're going to use the same ordered pair here, only we're going to make the x and y both negative. So negative root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. Then this next point has a denominator of 4. So come up here to the quadrant 1 to your denominator of 4. It's root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. Only because we're in quadrant 3, we make them both negative. So negative root 3 over 2. No, I'm sorry, negative root 2 over 2 and negative root 2 over 2. All right? This next point has a denominator of 3. So go back to quadrant 1 when your denominator was 3. And it's 1/2 root 3 over 2. Make them both negative. So negative 1/2 negative root 3 over 2. And this point here was 0, 1, 0, 1. Make the 1 negative, so 0, negative 1. All right, now quadrant 4. Quadrant 4 is positive, negative, because your x is to the right and your y is down, so positive, negative. So we're going to do the same process. This point here has a denominator of 3. From quadrant 1, your denominator of 3 is the square root of, is 1/2 and the square root of 3 over 2. So positive 1/2, negative square root of 3 over 2. The next point has a denominator of 4. Come back to quadrant 1 where your denominator was 4. It's the square root of 2 over the square root of 2. Sorry, it's the square root 2 divided by 2. Square root 2 divided by 2. Make the y negative. So square root 2 over 2 and negative square root 2 over 2. And then this last point has a denominator of 6. So go to quadrant 1 where your denominator was 6. And it's root 3 over 2 and 1/2. So root 3 over 2 and negative 1/2. And there's the completed unit circle. Again, you are to memorize the unit circle because next class you'll have a quiz where you have 7 minutes to complete a blank unit circle all from memory.